Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to 22 Panels. My returning guest for at least the fourth time. I'm gonna have to go look it up. I know that you've come separately at least once. I know Ryan showed up for a regular episode when you guys were completely under siege in Minneapolis. Um
Yeah,
uh but I think this is at least the fourth or fifth time for each of you.
Sounds about right.
And I think feels like the fourth or fifth insert name that I've talked about on 22 pen. I think the fourth.
I think that's right.
I think it's the fourth because we're not quite to 5 years and we started in October. So I think we started after your insert name. So the first one we would have been a part of would have been the 2022. Um,
Yep,
so
that was the one that we held at the Eagles Club
At the last minute.
at the
at
last
the
minute.
last minute.
Looked like rain,
Right,
and then it
right,
didn't
right.
rain.
So, and I'm looking at the picture here, and you got my friend Daria Faruhar front and center.
Yeah.
Um, Thank you for connecting me with her. She's fantastic in Chicago area, and we've had her out at the comic shop that I do stuff for out here now too. Um, I swear to God, she's going to get her law degree and take over the world. So,
I hope
and
so.
I do too, because she'd do a better job than a lot of the
Oh
people currently.
God. Absolutely.
So, is this the sixth or seventh insert name?
Eighth.
Eighth? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. So eight insert names. So my first question, eight times around now. Um, what's the biggest thing? Well, I mean, first, one of you give the basic like what is insert name and remind people to come and whatnot. This is one of my problems sometimes when I do multiple podcasts in a day, particularly when I know the people I'm talking to, is like I just jump into the conversation and go, oh, wait a minute. We also want to tell people about stuff. So somebody give me dates, times, locations, and what insert name Comics and Zines Festival is, though to a certain extent it describes itself. But then I'm going to ask some questions about organizing it and what you know now that you'd wish you'd known 8 years ago, that sort of thing. So that's what you can start thinking in the back of your head.
I guess I can do the telling about it.
Yep.
I started insert name in 2019 because I couldn't get. I had only been doing comics for a year, and I was just like really. I wanted more like comics and like zine stuff going on in the city. So it was only like 8 tables back then, and yeah, it's Sunday, August 30th from 12 to 6 p.m. at Mart in Uptown in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Specifically on Lyndale Avenue.
Yep, Lyndale and 25th.
Yep. And 8 years. So like my first question, like one of my favorite questions to ask anybody who's been doing stuff for a long time, particularly things that are like there's no training manual for. Um, what have you learned in the 8 years that like if you had the time machine and could like write yourself a letter before doing the first one, you'd know, make certain that you knew day one that you're like, oh, once I realized this, it was essential.
Um, I'd say just like don't take it so seriously. It's just a zine fest, you know.
Okay.
Like you don't really have to worry about. I mean, there's certain things you need to worry about, but it's just like oh, also, actually, the number one thing is that it's easy, much easier doing organizing stuff when you have another person or multiple people on the team instead of just trying to do it yourself. That's actually probably the number one thing.
Shocking, Emily. Shocking
I know.
that asking for help works.
Yeah, it does. And so Ryan joined the team after a
That's
year.
something I have to teach my students a lot. You're like, the worst that can happen when you ask for help is that they'll say no. And the best that can happen is it'll get a lot easier.
Yep. Um, uh, uh, my favorite filmmaker, John Waters, always has this quote: "A no is free." So, like,
Right.
yeah,
Which is also why, like, don't take it personally when people say no, because 9 times out of 10, it's not. 9 times out of 10, if somebody says no to you, it's not because they don't like you or because whatever. It's because whatever you're asking is just outside of what they can do.
Yeah, everybody's got their own shit going on.
Right. Everybody has their own limits. Everybody has their own resources and expertise. And that's the other reason that asking for help can be a huge deal, because sometimes it's even better than splitting the labor, because you can go, oh, I'm good at this. So yes, I'm doing half of it, but I'm doing what for me is the easy half. And yes, you're doing half of it, but you're doing what for you is the easy half.
yeah. Last year, so they're not organizing this year, but I had two. We had two more people on the organizing team last year, Lo and Trina. And Lowe's set us up with like some really awesome spreadsheets. And I am not an Excel person, so that was extremely helpful. And
Right.
Trina also did a bunch of organizing stuff. And Ryan, of course, is the master of fundraising and always knows about the comics artists that maybe I don't know about because he's always reading. So
Ryan might be the only person I know who I wouldn't bet reads less comics than I do.
Oh, I don't read as many as you, I don't think.
I mean, you don't think. I think that if we started comparing, we'd be a lot closer. I think there would be way less crossover than anybody else that reads as many comics as we do. You
That's
know,
possible.
we cross over with certain small press stuff and certain independent stuff. Most of the time when we cross over with independent stuff, it's because I read your review and went, "Oh, I need to read this."
Hey, this weekend I've been reading a DC book.
Which one?
It's DC Western, The Hangman Never Loses.
Oh, I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know if I
one
have
of
that
those
one.
DC's finest reprint collections of 1970s Western stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, and it is great. Some of the art in there. I mean, you got Frank Thorne, Gil Kane, Neil Adams, uh, and it. I read it because one of the guys at TCJ, I can't remember who, it might have been Seneca or Nicholson or somebody, wrote a really long review of Son of Tomahawk, which I'd never read, and said it was one of the great masterpieces of American comics that nobody knows about. And it's all the whole Son of Tomahawk run is reprinted in this Hangman Never Loses thing. And yeah, it is pretty damn good. I don't know if I'm quite as high on it as he is, but there's other good stuff in there too. Some early Jonah Hex stuff and El
Right.
Diablo and the Outlaw, and it's just a lot of fun. I'm not even a big Western guy too much, but this book's a lot of fun.
No, I'm flipping through that article right now and going, I'm just from seeing the panels that they pulled, I'm going, okay, I might have
Yeah, it's
to go look
gorgeous.
at this book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's absolutely gorgeous.
No, we did recently do um on the Pulp Blotter book club, we went through all of Jimmy Palmiotti and Justin Gray's run on Jonah Hex, um, which was really outstanding and had kind of a who's who of artists with the most issues done by Jordi Bernay, but
When
like
did that book come out?
that was like just pre New 52, so it would have been late 90s, early 2000s, I think. Um And Jimmy was essentially putting his editor hat on because, from his times running things at with Joe at Marvel, he knew all sorts of artists, that sort of thing. Um, it started in 2005, so it was like 75 issues from 2005.
Okay. Did they do a
Um,
new 52 Jonah Hex?
they did, but they kind of wound up rolling it into the DC universe, and it was even Jimmy and Justin continued on it, but it was kind of a different book. And they called it All Star Western when they launched the new 52.
Yeah, that's what they are in this Hangman Never Loses. The early Jonah
Right,
Hex were an all-star Western.
right, right.
Remember when they put him like in a Mad Max future and Keith Giffen drew it?
Vaguely. I think
Yeah,
I've heard of that more than I've read it.
that was like early 80s and it was just
Right.
called Hex. And yeah, they put him like in a Road Warrior type future and had Keith Giffen art. That was a wild book, man.
Yeah. No, Jimmy made him very Eastwood man with no name, and he told almost always self-contained stories, um, which is part of the reason they were able to get such outstanding art. Is like because he talked to somebody, he'd say, "Hey, you want to do a Jonah Hex book with me?" And they'd say, "Sure." Let me see what I can get into my schedule. How long is it going to be? And he's like, 22 to 28 pages, depending on what you've got time for. And he's, what's my deadline? He's like, a year? Do you need 2 years? And they'd be like, oh, I could do it whenever. Absolutely.
I liked those well, I think everybody liked them, those Tim Truman Jonah Hexes for Vertigo in the 90s.
Those were good too.
Yeah, I thought those
Um,
were fantastic.
yeah, I like Tim Truman a lot on oh, what was the first book that he did with Ostrander?
Grimjack.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's a good artist.
I read Grimjack a few years ago. Um, Before we absolutely bore Emily to tears, though,
Yeah.
because she's not into the old Marvel DC stuff, but she did mention to me that she recently it was a what was the con that you went to recently?
Oh, I went to Spring Con at the
Okay.
Minnesota State Fairgrounds. Very affordable con, only $10. And I was there with Twin Cities Zine Fest, and we had a table where we taught kids how to make zines. But we also had butcher paper, and it was mostly just people doodling on the table, and it was really fun.
I love that. That's fantastic. Um, I like I think there should be more of that at almost any con. One of the things that I like about C2E2 is that they have like a family area that regularly has um people teaching how to do this. Jeffrey Brown will always spend at least an hour on a couple of different days, like teaching kids how to draw Star Wars characters or whatever, you know. Um, so that you not only have something that appeals to the younger fair, but like has them kind of understanding the physical aspect of the medium, um, which is always good. Like I'm married to an art teacher, so I'm always in favor of anything that has people drawing.
Absolutely.
Um, if we'd been there, my wife would have just pulled up a chair at that table and possibly not left it. Just expected me to bring anything by to her if I thought she'd like it.
There were some people who were just there, kind of like waiting for their children and stuff.
Right.
They colored in, and
Right.
it was like, I don't care. You can sit.
Exactly.
Let us show you some zines.
So so you're gonna add something like that at insert name? Just
I think
have the
it would
butcher
be a
paper
good
table?
idea. Usually at these little zine fest. Well, SpringCon is like a what I guess I would call like a more mainstream
Right.
But like
Right.
I was really surprised. Like I think because I have less experience with them, sometimes I underestimate the mainstream cons, especially because I don't go to them very often. But I was,
No, I understand.
yeah, and it's like I'm like, oh, was there going to be anything for me? But there was a lot that I thought was really cool. I want to show you. There was a table with like two little boys and their mom and dad, and like the mom had like a podcast, and then the dad had a zine that's just a Word document, and it's like he's
Wow.
you can't see it; it's very blurry, but it's like the
The
kids did
whip
like
Thomas
little
Town.
comics pages in it,
Oh,
and then
I love it.
he like reviewed like he went to the Iron Maiden show at like one of the big stadiums over here, and he's like reviewing that show and just like his favorite 45s and
I, I
like
love
a
it.
real old school zine, and I really liked that.
Right.
And then the kids have
Yeah.
their own comic books. I was like, oh, this is like a family affair. This is really cool.
That's super cool. I mean, again, anything that has kids making. I'm not the screen hater, but like I like the I also like to see kids creating. I like to see kids doing imaginative tasks rather than just repetitive tasks.
Hell,
Um,
it'd settle for any evidence we can get that families still work. You know what I
well,
mean?
that's a bonus as well. Um,
Yeah,
but no, I mean, I remember going through it with my children and realizing that what was special about Star Wars action figures was that they had one for even the characters that were only on screen for a second or so.
Oh
So
yeah.
you had to do things with them other than just recreate the movie. Otherwise, you'd get bored. Whereas, like when
And
my
one for
kids
every
were young,
creature
it's
sitting
like,
in that
oh,
bar.
here's three different versions of Jack Sparrow, but we don't have any random pirates.
Yeah,
You
Star Wars
know.
had ones for every creature sitting in that bar.
Yep. Yep. Which meant that like you had to well, you didn't have to, but you were encouraged to like come up with your own stories because oh, I've got the devil horn guy. He doesn't speak or do anything but drink, but w- I'm five. I'm not just gonna turn the figure slowly at the bar. I'm gonna have him do stuff.
yeah. Kids aren't really recreating like My Dinner with Andre. They want
Right.
No.
to have them go on adventures and stuff.
Um, but like the more different characters you have to play with, the more you can have your adventures become crazy and fantastic and whatever, rather than just falling into, well, this is what Jack Sparrow does because that's what he did in the movie, or this is what happened in the movie of Jurassic Park, so this is what's going to happen now. Also, I liked it when most of the action figures were the same size. So like you could play Star Wars and G.I. Joe at the same time.
Yeah, I
You
remember my
know.
Barbie had to date Spider-Man, and Spider-Man was only a third of the size of Barbie, and it's like, we'll make it work, but
I don't know. I kind of like that power dynamic.
that would be a good team. It's like, uh, the incredible shrinking man and like the 50-foot woman or something.
Right, right. I'm digging this. Digging this. I feel like you have a mini comic idea there,
Well,
Emily.
actually, I'm thinking now, maybe I should try to do a superhero comic, so to speak, Why the hell?
I'd read it.
Yeah,
I would too.
I need to do. It would give me a really good excuse to research a hell of a lot of comic books. So,
Well, I mean, think about it. Like the first time we talked, the book that you wound up
what?
recommending was a riff on a Batman book.
Oh yeah, was that was Ryan Alves? Oh my God, what was it? It was like the one where Batman gets his back broken.
Back broken. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and
And
then
they're fighting naked the whole time.
yeah, they're fighting with their ding dongs out. So yeah, yeah, I had a great time at SpringCon. It was very
Yeah. That sounds fun. Now, I mean, I haven't actually been to SpringCon, but it sounds like the level of ones that I've been to before. Was it one of the cosplay heavy ones or lower cosplay?
It was really how many people? There was definitely cosplay going on. I think my favorite that I saw was two Lex Luthers.
Okay,
There were a couple, and they had really good suits on. So, and there
nice.
were like two different versions of Lex Luthor. Like one had the white suit, one had the black suit, and
Right,
apparently they dress up every year in like a couple's costume. It was like
nice.
these two guys in their I couldn't tell how old they are, maybe 40s or something. So.
Right, right. Very cool.
Lots of Spider-Man, lots of Ghostbusters, lots of
Yeah,
Ghostbusters.
go.
I was really surprised.
Ghostbusters have like branches all over the place. They're kind of like the Star Wars cosplayers, where they're actual like Ghostbusters groups all over the place. Some of them even do up their cars. Like every once in a while, you'll be driving around and see like a Honda CRV done up as a Ghostbuster mobile. Completely repainted and with crazy stuff on top. And
I should do that to my old ass Honda Civic because
there you go.
that thing's always breaking down, and I know I can't sell it for crap, but maybe I can make it into a Barbie car.
There you go.
So.
There you go. Um, do we know anything about who's coming this year to insert name? Or is that still something that's forming up and to be announced later?
We will announce the vendors on June 14th, Sunday.
Ah, so
You
coming
got
around the
plenty of
corner.
applications.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we capped it at 100 this year because we're like, we don't want to wade through. It does take a long time to read them, giving people,
Right.
you know, equal time and all that. So it's like,
And that's even with a tabling fee
oh,
now.
tabling fee is only $10 for a half table and 20 for a full table.
I get that, but I remember talking to you the year that you had introduced the tabling fee almost entirely to make certain that like you could cut down on the applications that you got in because you wouldn't be getting them from people who weren't serious to put up the 10
So
or $15, whatever it was that year.
Well, the problem with it free is you pick people, and then some of them don't even show up
Right,
yeah,
because they
that
didn't
was
have to pay anything, or what do they care?
right,
yeah.
right.
Me and Ryan lost some money. I know we lost money on that year, but this
We
year,
had fun.
Yeah.
We had
I
fun.
mean that can happen, and I mean I know there was a comic shop I know and an artist I know where they did like rather than just a signing, it was a also a comics class for the artist's appearance, and the artist really wanted it to be free, so they made it free, and as a result, they wound up having no students because they also had to cap it. So like people immediately signed up for it, but because it was free, didn't actually feel like they were going to lose anything if they didn't
yeah,
show.
That's exactly right. Yep.
Um, so like even if it's something that you wind up giving back in some way if they show up, oftentimes having some sort of fee is just a way to make certain that people aren't going, "Oh, this might be nice. Let me reserve it in case I feel like it on that day 3 months in the future and completely forget about it afterwards." Whereas if they've got even $10 tied up in it, it's like, "Oh, I'm going to lose my money if I don't show up, so I need to go do that."
You gotta,
Um,
things are worth kind of what you say they are. You know what I mean?
right.
Like the
Hmm.
whole world of fashion and fragrance and style is all set up on predicated on the idea that you know price determines what people think it's worth in the first place.
Right.
I was just talking to Daria about that the other day because she's making some posters and wasn't quite sure what to charge. And I was like, well, they're kind of worth what you say they're worth. You know,
Yeah.
if you're gonna,
Well, I had was having lunch one day with Dennis Kitchen and what was the artist that we were with? Dan Burr. We were all having lunch at a co-op in Milwaukee. And I looked up from our table because there was a painting of some pine trees that, I mean, it was way better than I could do, but it was not something that I would have hung up in my house, right?
Dan Burr, the Kings in Disguise guy.
Yeah, which Dennis
That's one of the
published.
best comics ever
Oh,
published.
it's great. It's
Period.
great.
That no one knows
Yeah.
about. You want to talk
Yeah, yeah.
about a forgotten masterpiece? That is probably one of the 10, 20 best comics I've ever read in my life.
That was half the reason that Dennis was introducing me is he found out that I hadn't seen that book and he's like, "Well, first of all, you need to read this, and second of all, the next time I'm in town, I'll introduce you to Dan."
Yeah, it's an amazing book.
What's the name?
Kings in Disguise.
Kingston
It's like a
No,
Kings
in
in
disguise.
disguise. It's like a Depression era coming of age,
Yeah,
Right on.
train hopping hobo story. um, but it was priced at $400. So I looked at them and I'm like, you guys are both professional artists. Do you think that that's a reasonable price? And they both immediately said, absolutely. Fine arts is like, it's a skill. People can't do it. Like you would never dream of paying your plumber less than $100 an hour because they had to learn how to do that, and you don't know how to do that. Do I think that that painting could have taken somebody 4 hours? Absolutely. Is it my cup of tea? No. But can I imagine a million living rooms and a million people that would go, oh, this is what will bring my living room together? Sure. And if you overprice, you can always negotiate down. You know, you can't really negotiate up if you realize you made it too cheap. I'm like, okay, this is what I need to tell my artist friends now, because I don't think I've met a community of people who, I don't want to say value their work less, because I think that they value it. They just value it in non-monetary ways. I don't think I've known a group of people that like value their work in exchange for money, or their presence in exchange for money, less than most of the comic book people I know. Things like, oh, I'm busy this month, so let me shut down my Patreon while I take care of my mom. And it's like, well, but do you need the money while you're taking care of your mom? Yeah, but I'm not going to post much. And I'm like, I don't think your patrons care. I don't think they're
Yeah.
I don't think they're giving you money for what they get back on a day-to-day basis. I think they're giving you money for what they get back in terms of your long-term output.
I have asked my Patreon patrons, like, I'm like, what do you want? Like, what should I have more of? And they're just like, I don't know, we just like you.
Yeah.
Caller.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
God, yeah. All the time. Every time I've asked people in person,
Yep.
who subscribe to my site, and I'll be like, yeah, what do you want me to write more about? Oh, hell, I don't care. Write about whatever you want. And
Yeah.
yeah, I do that too. If I've got something, like I've had a couple times here and there where shit's going on at work and I just don't have much time to write. And I'll just I'll post something saying, I'll be back in a week or something. And it all works out. Nobody
Yeah.
complains.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what I tell anybody who's even thinking of shutting off the payment side of their Patreon, Substack, whatever newsletter, is like, send out the letter to your subscribers to explain the situation and see what they say.
Yep.
My hunch is they're going to tell you, no, please keep taking my money.
Right. I mean, most of these are people giving you $2 or $3,
Yep.
and
And even when they're giving you more, like, I mean, I give money to a couple of people in part because I do want the stuff that they send out every month, right? But if I missed a month, I wouldn't feel like I needed the money back.
Right.
I don't care.
You'll
Like,
live.
Right. You know,
But
it,
when
it,
you're
it
able to, I do think, because that's one feedback I've gotten from people consistently over the years, is that they do like the fact that I keep it up pretty regularly and say that,
right.
well, compared to most, you really do post a lot more because there are a
No,
lot of Patreons that are pretty quiet.
right. Regularity is a good thing, and keeping people apprised on just the basics. Even if your regularity winds up being you come in once a week to go, I am still slammed with life and kids and trying to meet my deadline. I wish that I could give you more. Here's a cool picture. See you next week.
Yeah.
yeah. Speaking of Patreon, I went to a comics reading on Friday with an artist who is really good at Patreon, and it was a very good comics reading. And I want to like tell you about their book because they just released like I think maybe their first book, and it's really good. It's called Cream Thing in His Golden Year by Sam Hensley.
Yeah, that was a good looking book.
Yeah, Ryan,
I
I
don't
showed it
think
to
I've
Ryan
seen that
when I
yet.
and at first I didn't quite know what it was about. I helped my friend Sam by hooking them up with a venue, and then I was like I should probably like promote this, and I was like it's about a lamb made out of butter that lives in the woods, and I was kind of right, but actually it's not. There's so much more to it. It's like and the drawings are just like crazy. Like think it's all I don't even know. It's like paintings and like watercolor and it's about this like weird creature that like dies over and over again because of a curse, but also doesn't feel any pain and like really cool drawing.
That's really cool looking.
Yeah, just
Unfortunately, our listeners will have to go find the book. So announce it again so they know how to go find it.
so this book is called and this is all one well, okay, Cream Thing, which is all one word, cream plus thing, and it's called Cream Thing in His Golden Year. And you can get it from Sam Hensley, and she's
Looks like Sam's sketchbook.bigcartel.com.
you got it. I had that URL already, and you got it perfect. Yeah,
The gorgeous thing about Google when it works.
yeah. Um,
That
and
was my exciting thing this last week. I discovered that like you don't have to put podcast in with 22 panels anymore. If
nice.
you just put 22 panels in, we will come up on the various services. And for that matter, my cat is the fourth picture after two different versions of Wally Wood's 22 panels that always works and Mike Avon Oming's homage to Wally Wood's 22 panels that always work. You get Eddie knocking the microphone over when you Google 22 panels. And I'm like, okay, that's something. Now
I
where's the money?
yeah, exactly, right? I think when you Google me, the first thing you get is a somewhat medium review of one of my books by Robert Clow or something. Am I saying that right?
Okay.
Clough?
Rob Clough, yeah, or Cloud. He goes. I think people say either one.
Oh yeah. Okay. And then the rest of
I
it is
always
like
call them Cloud.
oh yeah, I have a new zine out.
Yeah, you went little.
Yeah, I went
I
little.
liked it.
Yeah, it's easier to ship and it fits the format because I was doing 4 panel squares. And so I made it like almost a coffee table or a book that you would have sitting by the toilet, maybe, just like something for light reading. But it's cool, like,
That's a legit thing. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I got to set up an online store. I'll do that later. But
I think my wife just does hers through Ko-fi because then the payment and the stuff are all together.
yeah. Well, maybe I could. Yeah, I do have a Patreon. Maybe I could have that as just. I was going to send it to everyone.
I think they have an ability to do store setups more on Patreon than they used to. I
Yeah, they're
think that's
working
one
on
of
all
the,
kinds of shit.
yeah.
Ryan, I had an idea. Like, have you ever thought about making like a collected like zine or like book of your reviews? And then,
Yeah, I'll do it before I die, one of these years.
well, I mean, just start out with a little one and then release like issues.
Yeah, there's so much stuff from so many years. I'd really have to cut down and determine what the best of it was. But yeah, at some point, I'm going to do it.
Right on. Well, if you need formatting or printing help, I got.
Oh, I know who to call.
Um, so what has been exciting the two of you in comics this year?
Seeing more people get into comics that maybe have not been into them before. Like when I was at the Spring Con, there were like, it wasn't just kids drawing on the table. It was like, like the comic book collector guys, but then it was also like grandmas and stuff. And like I think even my mom has read a couple of zines at this point. And just seeing people get into self-publishing, like that guy, like the whole family that was at that table, and like they all, like the
Right.
kids, their own comic books, and there were several tables that had like children with their parents, and like the kids were selling like pictures of birds, or like it was just really cool to see that. Because I want to hear from different voices that I maybe have not uh, heard a lot of, or maybe I didn't know where to look for them before.
Yeah. I am always pleased to see a wider swath of people getting into comics. It's not just middle-aged white dudes anymore,
Yep.
and that's heartening.
Yeah, comics is for everyone.
I mean, really, all storytelling should be for everyone, but like for so long, particularly in the United States market, people were blown away at the idea that like, wait a minute, you mean comics aren't just superheroes? Um, but to see it like expand further where more and more people who didn't even realize they were readers because they're not great at reading prose, but that doesn't mean they don't crave storytelling or information or whatnot, and they'll discover the comic that speaks to them, and now suddenly they're a reader, and sometimes they wind up reading more prose too, but they definitely wind up reading more comics because it's like, oh, this is what I feel like I was supposed to get out of books, but never managed to capture personally.
I,
You
I gotta
know,
give credit to like Dog Man. That's like,
definitely.
yeah. I mean, I read Captain
Raina
Underpants.
Telgemeier deserves all the awards too.
Oh yeah, totally.
You know, for that matter, I like with her book with Scott McCloud last year, the Cartoonist Club. I wonder if seeing like the kids making their own comics for sale, how much of that is driven by there's literally a book that you can buy at Target that involves middle schoolers making their own comics and then selling them at a mini con.
I I actually haven't read that book. It's on my list, but like,
It's so good.
it's right up my alley.
Well, I
Or
mean, it's like the easy reader version of understanding comics, but it's also a Raina Telgemeier, you are seen, yes, life is hard, but you're not alone middle grade book on top of that, right? So it like hits all of the buttons. It's one of my favorite books from last year. And again, you can pick it up at your average big box store and most of your
little
better comic book
stores.
shops. Right.
Yeah.
But like if you don't know where the closest comic shop is, or you're still afraid to go into the comic shop, you can generally find Raina Telgemeier at Walmart or Target or
Oh
whatever
yeah.
your local equivalent is. You
Yeah.
know.
Or the
Which
library. Library's
Oh
always
yes,
good.
libraries. I mean, I don't like I try to talk about it more. Libraries have embraced comics so wholeheartedly lately that most people have access to more comics than they can imagine through their local library system, whether it's in their local branch or just available on like quick interlibrary loan. Like almost anytime you bring up a book, no matter how long out of print it is, you can like go to your local library's website and have it at your library within a week. It's like, oh, now I do get to read this thing that hasn't been around forever. Um, yeah, libraries and comics are amazing.
And if you
So,
tell
right,
your library to like order a book by an author
they
that
will.
maybe you can't afford to read, that's
Yep,
money that goes to that, you know,
right,
Yep.
right.
publisher.
That's right. Ryan, anything cool for you lately?
Oh man, I'll tell you. Right now, I am really enjoying that Hangman Never Loses thing I told you about, and I've
Right.
also been just starting the new Kim Deitch book, How I Make Comics. So,
Yeah,
Mm.
I've
you
got a
know,
copy of that.
What's
yeah,
that one about?
I mean, that's guaranteed to be good.
That's one that's kind of self-explanatory,
Yeah,
Emily.
I
Like,
mean,
How I Make Comics is about how he makes
how he makes
comics.
comics. And then Andrew Alexander over there at Cram has really been publishing a lot of good stuff. He's got a new collection of strips by Drew Lerman, who's one of the great cartoonists working these days. And he's got his own autobio zine. I think it was called Hot Looking.
AndyAlexandy.com.
Yep.
Also
And then there's a new issue of
cram-books.com.
Cram. These are all really gorgeous Riso printed, heavy cardstock type publications. And then he did one from Audra Stang not too long ago, published a new thing of hers. And
that was Valley Valley, right?
yep. And then he's been doing a lot of stuff with a cartoonist named Nick Bunch, whose stuff is all really good. So I'm loving everything that's coming out of Cram. But so far this year, the standout comic, and it's a little like 10, 12 page mini by an artist I still really don't know anything about named Emily Zimmer. And I think I reviewed this one, I can't remember, called Vortex. And
Yeah, I
this,
want to get that.
yeah, this thing has now content wise, it's nowhere near as unbelievably depraved, but it has the same energy to me as Rory Hayes type stuff. And if you think there's a higher compliment than that coming from me, there is not. You know what I mean? This thing really feels like the early Rory Hayes stuff.
You have reviewed it.
Okay, I thought I meant
When
to this
when
time.
I Google it, your review comes up before the ability to buy it at Domino.
Okay, yeah, I doubt anybody else has reviewed the thing. Um,
Right.
but it's like a little $5 thing, and it is everything I love about comics distilled into one compact package. I can read that. I mean, I don't have time to, but I could read that 8, 10, 12 times in a row. That thing is just incredible. That is everything you want about DIY comics in one thing. If there is one functional example of what makes this beleaguered medium of ours so unique and able to do things nothing else can, that's it right there. I don't even know who this Emily Zimmer is. I think she's out of the Bay Area or something, but that thing is incredible. That will single-handedly restore your faith in the whole comics medium.
Well, but I never lost faith in the whole comics medium.
Well, right, but you know what I mean. Like, you know how you can look around and feel like stuff is a little too like who's doing their own thing that hasn't been done before, kind of thing. And
That's
that's the
fair.
perfect example. that there is still new things to be done. There we go. That's a better way of saying it. That there's still new things to be done that have not been done before. And it's because you haven't done them before. You know what I mean? There's a story in everybody that hasn't been put out there yet. And some people just put pen to paper and do it. And that's the best reason to make comics there is.
Okay. It appears that it was printed at the Oakland Library.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm an
Cat Scratch Fever.
I'm an absolute yeah. I'm an absolute evangelist for that thing. It just is everything I like in 10, 12, whatever it is pages. So everybody out there, Vortex. I think Domino's probably still, hopefully he still has some copies.
Well, and if you go to catchscratchfever.org, you can buy it directly from her big
Has she got
cartel
anything else?
store. It looks like a book called Wallow and a
Really?
book called Cattle Mutilation that's sold out.
Fuck. Sold out, huh?
Maybe she has an email and we can get that cattle mutilation somehow.
I
Yeah, I
mean,
got to get a hold of her.
I'm not gonna read her email on the podcast, but it is at her Instagram page.
Okay, cool.
So
Oh,
she's
and
definitely findable.
another thing that's going on is the great Steve Laffler has some new stuff out, including a collaboration book with Paul Theroux called Crazy for You that was really good.
I
And
have that.
yeah, and then his own self-published collection of his 1956, which is a fantastic little story. Steve is a fantastic cartoonist who's been around forever now and just keeps on, every new project really is impressive. I mean, I've loved his stuff since the days of Buzzard. Oh, look at
So
that.
yeah,
I'm going to order her Wallow right now.
there you go.
I
See, here I am. I'm even managing to sell books to Ryan Carey during a podcast.
Yep.
I didn't think that was possible. I thought you were always on top of it before I was, or were like, yeah, Tad, that's cool that you still like that, but
No, you're you're far more plugged into the everyday comings and goings, I think, than I am.
well, no, I know, but I'm plugged into everyday comings and goings from the big publisher that like I know you well enough to know that you don't frown on them as much as it seems like for anybody that reads your Patreon. But like I always laugh that like you're willing to speak to me given the way you refer to half the comics I love on Patreon.
Well, I don't disrespect the work that goes into, oh, look at this thing of hers. I love brutal death metal. Oh man, I like this girl. This is
It
great
looks like she makes
stuff.
her own
What a
music too. If you
cartoon.
click on the music, you go to her Bandcamp page.
We should ask Emily Zimmer to table at insert name.
We should. I
Uh,
wonder if she'd make
well,
it.
I mean, you'd have to get her out from Oakland, it sounds like.
Well, our fundraiser's going really well, so maybe it's
Yeah,
possible.
yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Uh, I'm going to tell you something. I respect the work those people do putting out these things that I don't read. There's an audience for it. What I don't like is the business aspect. But I understand that's just
Yeah,
reality.
no, I don't like a lot of the big business aspect either, which is also why I tend way more towards even when I'm in the Wednesday comic arena, I tend way towards more like the independent presses and often even more towards the the Mad Caves and Onis of the world than the Image and Dark Horses of the world, that sort of thing.
Yeah, Dark Horse
Um,
is trying to unionize now, though.
well, and not just trying, Dark Horse has voluntarily recognized their union.
Oh,
So I
did
was
they?
proud of that. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
that's the
because
right
yeah, the
call.
last I saw that was still. Oh, that is great because Image
So,
never did that.
right. So the next huge step is like how does collective bargaining go, obviously. Um, but it does appear that Dark Horse has chosen to voluntarily um
That's fantastic.
right.
Can I recommend two more comic books?
Of
Go for it.
course.
I want to recommend a book that I think it was Drawn and Quarterly just put out from Cedar Van Tassel called Apple Guy and Beefwood.
Tyler was a big fan of that one.
And I think Cedar is coming to insert name, but I have to confirm with him that he can come up
Oh, that'd be cool.
because he applied, and I'm like, yeah, of course.
All right.
Um, I used
C
to,
and Q put that out.
huh? Yeah,
Drawn and
Say,
Drawn and
Quarterly.
Quarterly, yeah. It's like a nice
I'm gonna have
hardcover
to
book.
check that out. I'm gonna have to check that out.
I haven't read this one yet. Like I haven't finished it, but I started reading it, and it's Larry Harris and Shay Merck did a book called and I think it got nominated for an
Oh,
Eisner.
the Making Nonfiction Comics. Yeah.
Yeah, because I really want to start doing. I have all these ideas of things I want to start doing. Because like I've been doing auto bio and diary for a long time, and it's like I kind of like to explore some other genres, but
Yeah.
journalism comics, that seems like extremely fertile
And
ground.
I always appreciate it when the guides to making comics are comics themselves.
Yep. Um, Also on a non-comics note, and Ryan is a fan of this video distribution company as well. There's are they what is Vinegar Syndrome? Um, they're a distribution
They're a
company.
Blu-ray label.
They're a Blu-ray
They're
label.
both.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they're a distro too.
I've been watching movies that Vinegar Syndrome and Bleeding Skull have put out, and a lot of like these like shot on video, like shot on VHS, like bad horror movies. And like
Okay.
I think I like movies again after not watching them for a couple of years. Like I like I don't know, I like seeing people
You,
like
you
try
said
weird
Vinegar
stuff.
Syndrome. What did you say was the other one?
Bleeding Skull. And Vinegar Syndrome is opening a store in Minneapolis.
All
Yeah,
right.
but when?
Yeah, I know. It might already be open. It's in Dinkytown, which is by the University of Minnesota Twin Cities.
I mean, one of the reasons that I like am more interested in this than I normally would be is that Jim Terry recently made a movie that, to my knowledge, has been screened three, maybe four times, but I've been
That
at
guy
two of
is a
them,
good
and
cartoonist.
Ooh, we should have
he
him. I'd love to
he
have
made
him at Insert
he made
Name.
a fantastic movie. Um, so
What's
yeah,
it
no,
That guy
called?
is a good
it's
cartoonist.
called Shank.
Okay, sweet.
There
I only
there
have
there
a
there's a short trailer, like a 40-second trailer for it at his Wounded but Dangerous YouTube page.
nice.
Um, Here, I'll find it and drop the link. Um, but actually, I was there's a theater that in Minneapolis that I saw while I was up there that looks like the type that might be willing to show something like this.
The Trilon?
Yeah,
Maybe give me a
that's no.
second. Is it right by a coffee shop?
Yep. The Trilon Micro Cinema. I did a poster for them once.
Yeah, yeah. And I know somebody who knows their projectionist. So
I think I know who you might know who knows the projectionists.
that's entirely possible, but like since we're still recording, I don't want to say too many things.
No, I hear you there.
Because all of this is still in the dream stages, but like it might be something like if we do things right, like set up a screening for the Saturday night before insert name, have
Yeah,
him at the fest.
because I also Shaheen Beardsley did an old boy movie of his character, his like take on superhero characters.
Right.
And he made his own like movie of his own character, and I think he acts as the main character. And I was like, "Ooh, yeah, what if we do like a comic book movie screening?" Like,
There's the link to the trailer on YouTube. Actually, I mean Shank was a trailer that he made with a friend 20 years ago for a movie that didn't exist, but then it kind of niggled around in the back of his brain. And like last year, he was a little bit burned out on making comics and looking for something else creative to do and realized he hadn't spent a lot of time with that buddy in a while and called him up and said, what if we made more of this? And like all gonzo shooting, no permits acquired ever. So I was one of the Q&As I was at, somebody asked what the most dangerous shot they seen one was, and they're like, literally any of the ones with fake guns, because it meant that we took fake guns out on city streets in Chicago without a permit.
oh,
It's like take it out, shoot the scene as fast as possible, and ditch it.
nice.
But
That's
yeah, no,
guerrilla filmmaking.
I forget who like the first tagline that I heard somebody come up for it was if Monty Python made John Wick for no money.
Nice. Sold in the room.
Uh, After taking my son to it, I pitched him a different one, and he thinks that mine is like at least as good of a descriptor. I said if Clerks and El Mariachi had a demon baby, its name would be Shank.
I also like that description.
you know, because it's zero budget, but it's still an action movie. And when they can't make the action look great, they lean into the fact that they don't try to ignore that like some stuff look
Absolutely. Yep.
ridiculous. They lean into the ridiculousness. Um, for that matter, like lack of choreography is often made up for by fantastic sound effects.
Worth it. Yes.
I mean, I seriously, I want this movie to be distributed just because I want to be able to watch it over and over again at home. You know, I'm totally autistic and like I like with movies, I like comics, like music, whatnot. I like more movies than I don't like, etc. But then there are certain things that I can just read over and over again, or watch over and over again, or listen to over and over again. And this is totally a movie that I could watch easily once a week for like a long, long time, and probably forever at two or three times a month, or two or three times a year. Like I don't think there's been a year in my life where I haven't watched the Return of the Jedi at least three times. Shank feels like it would be in that category for me if I was ever able to watch it at my whim rather than just the occasional times that it gets played various places.
Yeah, that would be sick. I want to see this movie really bad now.
Well, I already have been working Jim to try to to let him help me get it more places, or at the very least, let him help me get it into. We've got a big screen TV at the comic shop that I do stuff for, along with couches. So I'm like, at the very least, let us do the first like living room screening, the public living room screening. I've seen it on like a full theater screen with you. I've seen it on like a classroom like theater screen with you. So let's do the next one, the public living room screen.
Nice.
Have you been to the store that Daria's working at?
I have.
It looks cool.
It is. It's very cool. Not big. Um, I actually the one time I've been there so far was when she was doing her super exclusive con.
Hmm.
Uh, so I had a limited amount of time that I could spend there because like moving was difficult and I get claustrophobic.
That show
Um,
looked like it went over pretty well, though.
it went over really well. No, I was a big fan of the show. It was just tight.
It
Um,
happens.
Yeah, it
no,
gets tight at Oddmart too.
Hmm.
uh, I believe it. That's I mean I come up for you guys' show every time, and I'll make a spin through once to try to look at stuff before I start buying, and then I spend about half an hour outside or wherever there's space to like breathe, and then I make the targeted run through where it's like, okay, I wanted to go talk to this table more. I wanted to go talk to that table more. Okay, I need to take a break. Now I want to go talk to that table more and that
Yep.
table more. I do this for big cons too. I'm not good with concerts
It's
and baseball games are the only times that I can handle being in a large crowd of people for an extended period of time.
We
And
had
that's
a
because I
nice
have a
amount of
completely different focal point.
we had a nice amount of space at Squirrel House, but
Oh yeah.
the guy is they closed that spot,
I mean, it sounds like he's turning it into his own house.
Yeah, the
So,
guy's
I
turning it
mean,
into a house for him and his
I
wife.
don't, I don't know if I'd want to have a con in my house.
I wouldn't.
So, I get that.
Yeah. But Oddmart is a much more central location.
Yeah, it looked like a good location to me,
Yeah.
and like the back. I mean, they had the back door open, so I was able to see where you guys are going to be set up. It's a decent sized space. It's not as big as Squirrel House, but it's not at all nothing.
Yeah, and they have their own show that they put on every year too. It was just what, a weekend or two ago, Emily?
yeah, it was May 23rd and 24th. They had flop exclamation point. And Sally Madden ran some programming.
Oh
Uh
wow.
yeah, she asked me and my friend Murgo to do an improv comics. So I had never done improv, but we did like live drawing and
Oh
Sam
sweet.
Bravo was the moderator and
Sweet.
it was really fun. It was really fun. Yeah, so we eventually it devolved or evolved into me and Murgo making 4 panel comics in 3 minutes, which really tests your everything
Yeah.
skills. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was really fun. And there was
All
a
right.
lovely tribute to the late Diana Green.
Oh, I hate it when we have to say the late.
Yeah,
We lost Marjane Satrapi this week too.
Yeah.
that was so sad. Uh,
Um,
that is so sad. There was a
right.
guy at SpringCon who was carrying around a foam board with like the Persepolis drawings on it, and it said "Rest in peace, Marjane Satrapi." And then I ended up trading comics with him, and he had really good comics, so that was cool.
Cool.
Yeah, but
I mean, just going back to Daria, I know that Marjane was a huge influence on Daria
Oh yeah.
deciding to do comics. Um, so I do want time to breathe between now and my next podcast. So
Absolutely.
I need to roll us into closing questions. I have a new one since the last time you guys were on. So you're gonna have the standard closing question. But before that, I'm gonna start with um I've been doing this podcast for little less than 5 years now, and I feel like I've entered the twilight zone. My life has changed almost completely in amazing ways. You know, the people that I've made more friends in my 40s than I did in my teens, and like from all over the country, all sorts of people. Some of them people that like I used to only see their names in like some of my favorite things, and now I text with them about baseball, right? Um, I've been to cons where people recognized me. I've been to you know, and that's just a dinky podcaster who like I'm only certain that my mom and brother listen, right? Um, I've discovered that everybody in comics, no matter how big or small, has experiences like this and has forever. That thing where even having experienced it, there's that little part of them that pinches themselves and goes, "Did that really happen? How did this become my life?" So I've started collecting those stories. Tell me, tell me a time in your time in and around comics where something happened that you still like kind of look at it and go, "Oh wow, that was me in that story," and that's amazing.
Let me think. Oh, I know one. Getting to meet John Porcelino and then trading comics with him, and then he tabled at our con like 2 years in a row. That was so cool.
Right. Yeah, that's John's a cool guy. I need to get to
Yeah,
know
he
him
is.
better.
Super nice guy.
Yeah, really, really nice guy. Ryan, you've been around forever. I'm not calling you old, but you
I'm
are.
old. I'm old.
Tell us your crazy story.
For me, I've had uh I was just telling Emily about one the other night. Speaking of SpringCon, was when a few years back when Howard Chaykin was there, who's one of my all-time idols of comics.
I love Howard.
Yeah, and he was doing a talk, and I asked him a question, and he had me come up and sit with him for like half an hour
Oh,
in
that's
front of,
great.
in front of who knows how many people, talking comics with one of your all-time idols. That would rank
Right.
up there in my absolute moments. But for people that I've been able to communicate with, not in person, but virtually, but is pinch me that I'm even talking to this person, I still get starstruck by the fact that I have exchanged many messages over time with Gary Panter.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, and he
That's
sent me stuff in the mail, and to me that to, that's like other people would feel about talking to Michael Jackson or something.
right. Right. I mean, that's the other weird thing. Like, we're in comics. So it's like the people that we're like, oh, I got to spend time with, like, anybody not in comics is like,
Who? Yeah,
who? Are they the guy at the gas station? The grocery
Right.
store? That
yeah.
could be your librarian for all I know.
Well, here's one that I didn't know, but that he was even much of a comics guy. But I got a couple of emails a few months before he passed saying he was reading my stuff, and just we'd banter back and forth a little bit with Robin Williams.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
I did not
Oh,
even,
wow.
yeah, turned out he
I
was a
didn't
really
either.
big comics reader. I had no idea.
I mean, it doesn't shock me because, like, the way I hear it, he went out of his way to get the Popeye role, but Popeye wasn't just a comic. Um, but yeah, that's cool. That's cool. All right. Standard closing question. Tell me something you love, preferably a comic, but we don't have rules. Preferably storytelling, but again with the rules. But something that you love and not enough people around you have experienced it, and you really want them to so that you have more people to talk about it with.
Vortex.
Yeah, no, we can't use ones that we've already talked about in detail. Mm-mm. You already said Vortex. I need something different, Ryan.
Okay.
I
Well,
will I will I will plug Vortex again from I'm I'm just keep seeing Emily over and over again. I don't
Emily
see the
Zimmer.
last. Emily Zimmer, Emmy for short, 26 years old and live in Oakland, California.
Oh, she's got years and
Loves
years of good
loves
comics ahead of
drawing,
her.
playing music, skateboarding, and reading.
She's got years and years of good comics ahead of her then. All right, Emily, what do you got?
Oh shoot. Yeah, I guess if we're I might have to do the same thing as you and re-promote Cream Thing in His Golden Year by Sam Hensley. And also I wanted to add, you were talking about Andrew Alexander earlier and Andy Alexander of Cram. And then the Cream Thing book was designed and edited by him. So he had a hand in that as well.
And it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it's so cool. And I got to see it like read like the entire book. And Sam Hensley builds robots. Um and they brought like two robots to the show. So there were just these like it was like a moth anteater thing, and then there was like a very slowly moving butterfly baby in like a crib. And it was just a very eerie scene, but it was also really funny, like the book, you know. So um yeah, uh, excellent evening. So that's what I recommend.
All right.
And if there's one other thing in comics I'd like everybody to experience once, Short Run.
Oh yeah, short run rules.
Yep. There's
The
no
the
show. There's no
the
show.
online. Yeah. One year I need to remember to start saving ahead of time. So rather than trying to decide what to buy, I can just buy the whole thing. Because every year I'm sitting there going, that would be so much easier than figuring out what I'm spending if I was just in a position that I could go, it's like $400 for all of it. Just done. Because short run is pretty awesome.
Yep. What about you, Tad? You brought it up.
Well, I mean, it's my show. I always talk about this stuff. But if I've got to do something right now off the top of my head, um, if only because I'm rereading it today for a book club and it still doesn't get the attention it deserves, and volume two is right around the corner. Liam Sharp's Starhenge, book one, The Dragon and the Boar,
Starhenge?
is Starhenge. It's it's uh it's it's like teenage romance mixed with um Arthurian legend and um crazy sci-fi and Doctor Who timey-wimey shit.
That would probably be up my alley. I'm a huge Doctor
And
Who fan.
and it's all painted and his page layouts are outstanding. Yeah, it's one of my favorite books, and I get to talk about it tonight on a book club, and I'm talking to Liam again on Tuesday about volume two, which he's been kind enough to send me all four issues of already.
Is that a
Um,
self-published thing?
no, it's through Image Comics.
Image?
Image, and actually the paperback version of Starhenge is coming out at the same time that's the first issue of Starhenge book 2 will come out, which is like next month. The hardcover is already available and has been for a couple of years now. It's like his labor of love. So like he often will have to go and like do work for money and then come back and put out another volume of Starhenge.
I bet that
Um,
art is something else.
oh, the art is yeah. So July 1st, the paperback version of the first Starhenge will come out along with issue 1 of book 2, which is called A Kiss for Atticus. Here, I'll share the screen so you can see the cover artwork, but this is a case where the cover artwork and the interior artwork have more in common than you might otherwise expect.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
No, I mean, I don't know how well you
I'm gonna
know.
check that one out.
Yeah, I don't know how well
Good.
you know Liam Sharp's other work.
I know the
Um,
name.
he's done some great work with Grant Morrison. He's done some great work on his own. He's done stuff in both heavy metal
What's the
and
one he did with
2000
Grant
AD.
Morrison?
He did Grant Morrison's Green Lantern run.
Oh, I
Um
read that.
Also he what I don't know if you are subscribed to Grant Morrison's Substack.
No.
Um Morrison was doing like these what he called he was calling them pilot comics. Only they were part pilot comic, part pilot for whatever. They were essentially proof of concept of an idea um to be used as a comic or a movie or whatever, but Sharp was doing all of the art for that. Like when that got announced is when I started paying for Morrison Substack because I wanted the Liam Sharp art.
Yeah, Grant is an
Um,
interesting person. There's no doubt about it.
he is. But yeah, no, he did some Conan recently. He did some Wonder Woman. He did
Who's
the
publishing Conan comics now?
Titan has
Okay.
has the main Conan comic. Though I think Ablaze is still doing the Cimmerian. So like because the Robert E. Howard stories themselves are considered public domain, and
Hmm.
therefore the character is kind of public domain,
Yep.
but somehow the name, in terms of being a title, is not public domain for comics. Does that make sense? I mean, it only
Hmm.
kind of makes sense to me, but
Yeah, I guess
uh,
like within the next couple years, like the original, like that's gonna happen with like Batman and other characters. Is
they're coming up on. I mean, right now you can draw like 4 or 5 different versions of Mickey Mouse in public
Yep.
domain. It's one of the reasons that they keep changing the base um characteristics of Mickey Mouse because it's like, okay, you can draw him, but he can't have red shorts yet. He can't have
Hmm.
gloves yet. That's copyrighted later.
Yep. And that's why they completely changed the whole look of Howard the Duck so that he's
Right.
unrecognizable. It's not even
Right.
Gerber's character anymore.
Right. Um, but like Winnie the Pooh just went public domain. Popeye just went public domain. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, the
Actually,
best way to know that something is public domain is when you suddenly see a lot of trashy horror movies around it.
Ooh.
honest to God, if I had to like name the best comic I've read in the last however many years, it's been those E.C. Seeger Sunday reprints of Popeye.
Yeah, those have been good.
Yeah, those are just
Those have
absolutely
been good.
fantastic. I just I can't get enough.
Well, I need to take a break before the next round. So
Yeah,
I'm
thanks
going to
for having
say
us on. Always a
for
pleasure.
absolutely for Emily Mehr and Ryan Carey, insert name Zine Fest is August 30th at Odd Mart on Lyndale Avenue in Minneapolis, noon to 6, rain or shine. Um, Odd Mart itself is worth the stop. I don't think I'm going to go to Minneapolis many times in the future without stopping and going to Odd Mart. Um, I was quite pleased with that stop as I was with the oh, what was the name of the stop that I stopped at right before going grabbing pizza, Emily? Do you remember, or would I have to look at my phone and look at text messages to know?
Oh, was it another comic book store?
It is, but it's all
Dreamhaven?
no, it wasn't Dreamhaven because it's all back issues. And it's got a record
Nostalgia
store
Zone.
Nostalgia Zone. Yeah. Um I scored so many cool things in the $4 shelves at Nostalgia Zone.
And that one's on
Um
Lake Street.
yeah, that was my thanks to Tom Kaczynski for telling me to make a point of stopping at Nostalgia Zone before I left town. Um, and also, Tom, he cost me like 50 more dollars.
Oh well, it was money well spent, I'm sure.
It was. It was money very well spent. So, again, for Emily Mayer and Ryan Carey, this has been 22 panels, and we will see you after the next page.